Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Before I get this lesson started, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahawashi by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone from whom I learned from, and a shalom to the hope elect, taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits of Yahshua to the marriage supper of the Lamb. This is your brother Radah with a real quick lesson. The spirit, I got to publish this for the edification of the body. What is the precept in Ecclesiastes to vet a friend? Let me see if I can find it in my notes. Let me see. So, the word friend. So these are some of the notes. How the word friend is used in precepts. I hope to get the understanding of her fullness on this topic. So I'm going to use a few precepts. Song of Solomon. We understand by wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that King Solomon wrote the Song of Solomon. But the actual song or the psalm itself is written in dark speech. Dark saying, and it takes the spirit to open up the mysteries of it. In the Song of Solomon, Solomon takes the position of the Shulamite woman. He puts the Most High in the position of himself and the virgins, concubines, and queens or daughters of Jerusalem or Zion that are the handmaids that are witnessing him. Her in the dance with the Most High are the elect men. You got to understand that. So this is one of the precepts. This is the Shulamite woman is King Solomon, who is Yahawashi, speaking about King Solomon, who is the Most High. If you can receive it, that's what it is. His mouth is most sweet. Yea, he is altogether lovely. This is my beloved, and he is my friend. O daughters of Jerusalem. So this is Yahawashi in the position of the fairest among women, speaking to the other women who are the elect men about Yahweh Tazabawath, Yahweh of hosts, Yahweh of armies, the Most High, who is the Father of Yahawashi. Okay? Ecclesiasticus 6:7 through 37. I'm not going to read it all, but I'm going to paraphrase some of it. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of trouble. So you need men who are tested in the spirit with the wisdom, knowledge, understanding the testimony of Yahawashi, being the spirit of prophecy, being able to correctly open up prophecy and or hear it by someone else who is skilled that can open up prophecy correctly. And it's with those men, those hopefully elect men, that you are able to establish friendships with. Amos says what? How can two walk together unless they be agreed? How can you agree when you have different doctrines, different teachings, different understandings that clash with each other? You have to be on the same page. And we've come to understand that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on the right-hand side is not just granted to just anyone. Okay? So we see friendship being used in the Song of Solomon as far as Yahawashi is speaking about his father in dark speech. We see the instruction in the Ecclesiasticus to not just vet anyone to be a friend. So this word friend is very, very powerful and very specific when you go into the scriptures. It's just like all the other titles: Son of God, the meek, the poor, the widow, the orphan, the saints, sons of God. These words, the righteous, these words, the prophets. Oh my gosh, the prophets. These words are not just for any nation. They are specific to the house of Jacob. They are specific to the 12 tribes. And then when you deal with the 12 tribes, it's only dealing with the elect. It's very, very unique, very, very specific wordings, right? Dealing with the elect. So it's a very small, elite group of people. Not saying this in pride, but this is the truth. And you will know them by their fruits. And the fruit they produce is the wisdom, knowledge, understanding of these scriptures. Because the Most High, Yahweh by Shem Yahawashi and His Son, do not just open up their mysteries to just anyone. You got to be a friend. And that word friend is a lot deeper in the scriptures and has more meaning when you start going into these precepts. Yahawashi says, let's go further down. Let me see if I can find the other precept. Wisdom of Solomon. Look at this. 7:27. Here goes the word friend again. And being but one, she can do all things. Talking about wisdom, the Spirit of the Father, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new, and in all ages. This is all the different lots that we've been in on the earth. Ages entering into holy souls. That word holy again is also specific to the Israelites. She maketh them friends of God and prophets. So it is wisdom that is manifest to a specific seed line of men, and in that process they become friends and prophets with the Most High. So Yahawashi, we see Yahawashi as King Solomon opening up the intensity, the exclusivity of this word friend, and then we see it right here. Look, John, Yahawashi himself, again, in his last ministry, right before he comes back, John 15:11-16. These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love hath no man than this. Based on the precepts, this is what he's talking about. He's not talking about a homeboy. He's not talking about somebody that you grew up your whole life and you may know them really good and you went to school with them. He's talking about someone based on what Song of Solomon says, knowing that he applies that to his father, that word, friend, knowing what Ecclesiasticus says. You don't just grant anyone in this circle, and understanding what wisdom of Solomon is saying, that the spirit of wisdom makes these holy souls friends and prophets of the Most High. That is the definition of friendship that I'm talking about right here. This is different. And that you may, and no greater love hath a man that he laid down his life for his friends. Yahawashi is talking about the prophets. Yahawashi is talking about him doing this for the elect. This is not just random. This is specific. Ye are my friends if ye do whatsoever I command you. What are the commandments of Yahawashi? The testimony of Yahawashi, and that's the spirit of prophecy. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what is his Lord doeth, but I have called you friends. For all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known to you. Those are secrets. He shares his secrets with his servants, the prophets. That goes into that wisdom that enters into holy souls, making them friends and prophets of Yahweh. Can you see it? Now I want to play. This is a paraphrase. I'm paraphrasing in this message this morning with these two brothers, Shabai and Nashar, who I'm getting close with. And this is a reflection of what's happening all throughout the body of GMS. This is what's happening. I'm gonna let you guys listen. Yahweh by Shem Yahawashi, Barakatam, Lashar, Shabai, Shabizo. Much love and respect to you, gentlemen. Hey, I want you guys to know, bro, both of you nigglets have been edifying me, and I want to say thank you. I'm growing in my respect and my appreciation for you. Please don't take what I'm saying as offensive. What do you mean? You should have already been respected. It's not that. All three of us are getting to know each other, and it takes time to vet a friend. I have to earn, bro. I can't just, I mean, y'all listen, y'all, you guys know what's up, man. I gotta prove, and it's not a weird, vetting. I have to earn their respect. I have to earn the friendship of other fellow men of God, prophets in this truth. And there's nothing I can do but show up and be sincere. But it works both ways, man. Salakia. It works both ways. Knowing what the precepts say. I have to come through like pure gold through the precepts when becoming a friend, when being accepted in this fellowship, in this body, because the standard is what it says in the scriptures.
Lashar, Shabbat. It's just showing oneself to be sincere, and in the evidence, you know, like that story where King David and Jonathan. Jonathan is the king's son, King Saul, right? Of course, King Saul went off, but the decision still was established by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahawashi through the prophet Samuel. So Jonathan was a prince, and he was supposed to be the next rulership. And when he saw David as a youth defeat Goliath in front of the armies of Israel, I'm paraphrasing it, Jonathan saw that, and from his kingly, princely position, he so loved the prophecies and the Israel, the structure, and that was in the beginning stages of our kingdom, you guys. The temple, Solomon hadn't even been born yet. The temple wasn't even established. Everything was in tents. The Ark of the Covenant was in a tent, which, I mean, that's not a bad thing. It's just how we're the last nation to be developed, you guys. And I'm saying all this stuff. I know you know it, and the Spirit's going to quicken it to you. When Jonathan saw David defeat that motherfucker with that sling and a rock, it's all symbolic of Yahawashi, hit that fool in his forehead, then ran up to him and cut off his head, the Spirit exploded inside of Jonathan, and he instantly was linked. He was linked to David. And this is before David became King David, right? He saw another Hebrew, because you remember, right before that happens, isn't there a story where Jonathan and his armor bearer are walking up the hill, or they're on the hill and they see the Philistines? And Jonathan makes a very supernatural statement. If they say come down, if they're going to come down to us, because the armor bearer is like, what should we do? Shall they come to us or shall we go up to them? And Jonathan makes a statement. If they come down to us, we're going to be chill because Yahweh hasn't given them to us. But if they tell us to come up to them, that means Yahweh has, which is, you would think it would be the other way around, because going up a mountain, it puts you at a disadvantage. So that was a declaration of faith, man. So Jonathan says, if they say come up to us, that means Yahweh has granted us the victory. What happens? The Philistines see them, and like any other heathen group, they start talking shit to us. Come up here, we'll show you something. Okay, so Jonathan and his armor bearer walk up the mountain, bro, and start fucking whooping their asses, dude. It's like 20 dudes. 2 guys are whooping 20 guys, and these are all, the guys are whooping are all men of war, bro. These are all men skilled with the sword. So Jonathan supernaturally, with his armor bearer, is beating the Philistines. So he's familiar with spiritual power. He's familiar with Yahweh moving on him when no one else is looking. I'm just trying to paint a picture. So when he saw David sling that stone after Goliath had been running his mouth for 40 days and 40 nights, the Spirit exploded in Jonathan, and instantly they were linked together, bro. And that's what happens with all of us. I'm not just saying you two and me. This is what's happening with all of us on different levels with different brothers. We're having individual encounters with Yahawashi and spiritual power in our lessons, in our life. And then when we corporately come together, we see each other individually slaying giants. If that makes any sense. And when a certain precept is brought out and understanding is granted through a specific brother, that's a slaying of the giant. You're slaying the giant of darkness or ignorance, or the fact that we were in the congregation of the dead and we're all, we're all being brought together. We're being made complete in our heritage. And Yahweh's doing it individually in our lives when no one's around, and he's doing it corporately when we get together. Does that make sense? So I'm starting to experience that with both of you, and I'm just acknowledging it, bro. So y'all have a good day. Yahweh Bashim Yeshua Barakatham. We're going to get together soon to do a lesson. So the Spirit's doing it, you guys. Let's just keep following the Spirit, and I appreciate your guys' edification. I really do. Love you guys. Shalom. Oh, yeah, and the other point was, and then Jonathan, if I'm correct, Jonathan, by the Spirit, meets up with David afterwards. So this is David, the young boy.
Right after David slays the giant Goliath, I was paraphrasing it. And I still don't know if I'm fully right. I don't want to pull up the precepts because I'm at work. I want to make this really fast. But I believe it was literally right after David destroyed Goliath that Jonathan hands David his belt and his sword, which is a very powerful gesture, man. Because Jonathan was rightfully the prince. King Saul hadn't messed up yet. And Jonathan did this. And King David wasn't King David yet. So you see the sincerity and the beauty of both these two men being captured and recorded here in the script. Dude, there's a lot in this, man. I'm not doing it justice, Salakia.
The youngest of 7 brothers from the sheepfold, little ruddy David, right? Before his fame, at the beginning stages of him being exalted. And the son of the king, Jonathan, is the son of Saul. He is the prince. He is according to order, he's the next in line. I think, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I think this was before Saul made a mistake. Before the kingship passed from Saul to David. Yeah, this was right at when King David defeated Goliath. Dude, Jonathan he took off his belt, which held his sword. That's all of his authority, bro. He took his belt off and handed it to David, bro. Dude, the beauty, the young manness, the boyishness, the two young men becoming these two youths. I'm trying to capture this, bro, with the spiritual. These two youthful men who are on their way to becoming very grown and big masculine men, right? And all this authority. Jonathan knows the spirit, you guys, because of the prior story of him going up the mountain and whooping the Philistines' asses. And then he sees King David with the rock. And they had been standing there for 40 days. And the spirit didn't move on all those circumcised Israelite men who were all qualified to be valiant in battle. Yahweh was waiting for David to come forth, you guys. Because those men easily, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua could easily use any one of those men in the army. Because they're Israelites, bro. No, he was exalting David, dude. And Jonathan recognized that level of the spirit on David and handed that nigga his belt, bro. Which is a major sign of blessing, humility. Bro, that's a token. That's real. Like, he took his belt off, bro. Here, I'm going to give you this royal apparel that's rightfully mine in the spirit. His father hadn't even messed up yet. But I'm going to hand this to you. That's how much I see the spirit on you. That's how much I love you. And that's how much I love Yasharallah, bro. I don't think we understand what Jonathan did. And then for him to do that with King David, and this is before King David became King David, right? The genuineness of all of it, that's what's happening with all of us, you guys. We're doing this with each other on different levels at different times. And this is everybody in the camp. This is everybody in the camp of GMS in every state and every country. We are all developing little spiritual bonds and unions with each other through the process of vetting and revealing an exaltation, little victories and battles, bro. And we're all doing it. Okay? I'm getting to see each one of you and I'm not testing you. I'm just noticing, bro, I got to humble myself when I ask you guys, hey, I need edify. Dude, there's a nakedness. There's a vulnerability there. Hey, Nishar. Hey, Shabai. What was your take on this question? I don't know this one. I have an idea what it might be. That's scary as shit. And what? And what do you always say? No greater love than a man should have, that he lay down his life for his friends. And if you lack wisdom, ask, and he upbraids not, but he'll give it to you. Bro, the angels are watching us. They're not watching us to fail us. But there's notes being taken. We're taking notes from each other. The angels are taking notes on us on how are we willing to serve and edify one another and grow and then bond with one another based on the victories and the battles that we're experiencing, bro. And I'm still not covering this topic. This is the spirit right now. I'm still not covering it all. It's a lot in that. But I'm speaking this on you guys. I'm starting to bond, not in a weird, kinky, creepy way, but it's because of the precepts that have been coming through the phone. It's like, damn, okay, that's right. Yeah. So now I'm like, well, shit. What Jonathan saw in David was he saw someone he could go to battle with, because Jonathan, on his alone time with his armor bearer, took on 20 or 50 Philistines. Nobody else was there. David, on his alone time, took on the bear and the lion, and nobody was there to see it. And then publicly, Yahweh exalted King David by killing Goliath, and because of the private victories that Jonathan was having with his armor bearer, he knew exactly what he was looking at. He was looking at another anointed Israelite who was willing to fight the enemies of Yahweh. Now the Spirit's talking, bro. And through that, they bonded, bro. And Jonathan took off his belt and said, this is yours, bro. You can have this sword. It's fire, bro. That's what's happening with all of us, you guys. I pray that that's edified. This is Spirit. Yahweh Bashem Shabbat. Shalom.
And I pray that this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi, Bashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders of the apostles of the great millstone. Let me get that precept real quick. He who lacks wisdom. Let me see if that pulls it up. I think that's it. Look at this. This is James 1, 5-7. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of power, Allahayim, Yahweh, Bashem Yahawashi, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not. What's that word, upbraideth? I think it means to like belittle or shame you or something. Let's see what the upbraideth. Upbraid. Bring forth as a ground for a censure. What? Move quickly. Scold, reproach, reprove. Okay, rebuke, charge, reproachfully. Yeah, to like, make you feel dumb for not knowing something because you're actually asking, I want to know this, right? Because it goes against what it says in Proverbs. She lifts up her voice and says, how long will you love simplicity? So come in here and learn, man. Come in here. Let me make you prudent, which means what? You don't know shit. We're waking up, you guys. We don't have our heritage down perfect. We're not fluent in Paleo Hebrew. We are not fluent in our heritage. We're learning how to be who we are by the grace, by the mercy, by the blood of Yahawashi, by the goodness of Yahweh keeping his word and prophecy toward us. So I pray this lesson was edifying. I will give all praise and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahawashi, by Hashem Rakakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, whom I learn from. This is your brother Radash. Shalom.